Good afternoon, and welcome to another episode of Unscripted and Unchained RPG Review. I am DM Bluddworth, and as you can see by the graphics, this is another video in my series of miniature painting after 40 years of a 40-year break. So I'm going to begin my second figure that came with the Reaper Learn to Paint kit. So virtually starting from scratch. All right, and this is by Rhonda Bender. So Rhonda Bender is both the artist, doing these. I don't know if she's also the sculptor of these particular versions, but I think that she's just the rules person, for the step by step process here, and undoubtedly an artist herself. So let's get right into this. So this time around, I actually took an image, took a picture of the figure pre doing any part of the painting and everything, so you can see it in its initial form. So you can see here, compared to the skeleton, this figure has a lot more details and different textures to it than the skeleton did. Looking over this, you can see, and I know you can't see my cursor. Um, the grass is going to be essentially the same. He is wearing, and I can actually show you the what the finished product is supposed to look like. Now, whether or not I get that there, he's wearing, it appears to be leather boots. However, they do have these steel tips. So most of the boot is leather with the steel tips and spiked. This is a spiked leather cuirass that he's wearing. He has chainmail underneath it, and you can see in the back here it's all chain in the back. The leather belt comes back over here. The um, the shield is obviously going to be wood, but with the metal spikes as well. And then once again, leather armor here with these spikes. uh, Obviously a large cleaver or scimitar or whatever type of weapon that actually is. And I am going to at least start hitting some of the base coats that there is. Probably not at this time. The skin, I just want to get some of the easier areas taken care of, and then the skin coating. Um, I've picked up a few little tricks or whatever with doing that transition from the armor piece to the skin. So I'd rather have the skin go down afterwards. And then if I have to touch anything up, I think it's easier to actually touch up the leather um, that meets up with the skin than vice versa. So we'll see how that goes. They don't tell you really which area of the figure to actually begin with. So I'm going to start with the grass first, because I already have some of that paint from touching up the skeleton in the last video you might have saw, and so I'm going to get those paints that I've already laid out utilized first. So once again, we'll come here and you can see, this is what I'm working with. I'm working with a Citadel color stand, and I might have said it previously. Everything that I bought, I'm using that one kit so far. I got some extra brushes, but actually, so far I haven't used any brushes outside of the starter kit. So those starter kits are really, really useful thus far. And the only other things that I picked up was this little handle, which I think was about $12. And I did get a magnifying glass, but I don't think that that's necessary. Using the iPad to really take a good look at what I kind of missed and where I need to touch up actually worked better. So I really appreciate that advice that I had gotten on the previous video. Um, I forget if that came from Shadow and Sun or possibly it was Squirrel Hermit. I'm not sure which one of the two of you gave me that advice, but it was definitely great advice. So let's get right into here. And like I said, I've been playing around with different ways to show what I'm actually doing here. Um, how to show it off better to you so that you can see. But I am going to go with my, because I'm going to start doing the base first. I'm going to go with my number two flat, which is this brush here. And since I already have the paint laid out for grass, I'm going to load this up pretty good. And I'm just going to start hitting up this grass area. I'm not going to worry too much about touching his foot at this point. I'm doing just the broad areas. And this is just to conserve some of the paint I already laid out. I haven't used too much of it. Let's put it that way. I haven't wasted too much, I should say. Paint. So as you can see, I'm just hitting around the edges, and I'll get underneath in a bit. So you see I'm starting to get around. And when you're dealing with the big spaces here, it's less, you don't have to worry so much about getting into those spaces. Be a tiny bit less precise. It's kind of tough, like to get like underneath him exactly. It's they don't give you very much room to do that. As I said in a previous video, I am probably going to become more and more of a perfectionist as I go through. So I'm laying this down kind of heavy. You could kind of spot little portions of gray as I go through it. You see underneath there, you can basically see where I haven't been able to hit yet. All right, let's 30, 40 years ago, my eyesight was much better than it is now. That's one of the downsides to waiting so long to get back into doing this. But oddly enough, I think my hands have gotten steadier, if that makes any sense. My hands used to shake a lot. I guess I was a little bit wired when I was younger. A lot of energy. Now I've kind of slowed down a little bit. So again, it's these broad areas that you don't have to really worry too much about. And I do want to his skin is supposed to be 1 part Naga green, which is what I'm using here, and 1 part leather brown, which is this color over here. And for me to mix those two and start working on his skin, I'm not really too sure if I want to do that because I have to put 2 other colors kind of next to it. And I don't know if I'm ready to do that yet. So I want to wait. There are much larger, much broader areas of color that I can knock out now that I don't have to wait, to start doing. There's the fur. The chainmail is the next like really easy color to do because it's just straight up black. And I can do large portions of that straight up black color. I might actually go right into doing that. And these brushes are, I've used them now quite a bit for the last figure and several other times since then. Let me go into the pure black and I'm going to start doing that chainmail. Now, for the chainmail, and I'm looking at the picture here, I can see where I have to go. I'm going to start doing this plate right back here and then all of the chainmail beneath. I'm going to use the 0 because I want to be a little bit more precise here. You can see. Now this is going to get lightened up. All right. It's kind of tight. And then the chainmail actually comes to like a point down below there, and I'm just going to try to get that little strip. That's there. Okay. Now that metal plate that's on the back, that's going to get lightened up. Again, this is just the base coat. Oh, and I forgot this portion of the chainmail below. Below that belt. And believe it or not, the fur beneath it is almost like this is coming off really, really black. Once I highlight it, you'll see that it's not as black. It'll lighten up and it'll become more have more of a steel tone to it. But again, we're just hitting the major portions. And the base non-mixed base colors. So I'm gonna pause this for a second because I just dropped my brush. Okay, I'm back. Also washed off my brushes a little bit. So the leather is a solid harvest brown. The swords and the metal spikes are blade steel. The grass I already got. The skin and the fur are mixtures of different colors here. So let's start doing the harvest brown. And see how much of that we can actually get done. I see I have a little trimming on his arm, I think. I have to. Yeah, I can see there's some detail in there. So let's harvest. So all the leather is harvest brown. Let's see if I already have that ready. Harvest brown, yeah. I already have that color on the palette. So a good portion of the shield can be done now. So I'm Just hitting up the shield. The spikes are obviously going to be a different color. But I can still try to avoid touching the spikes as much as possible while I do this. The spikes are already standing up pretty good, just being the gray that they are. Now I got to get the interior part. It's kind of strange that the actual handle is supposed to be exactly the same color as the wood. Okay. All right, that's that. The leather belt is the same color. You can see I'm starting to get that belt in there. Now we're going to come around to the front here. I don't know how much this light might interfere with what you can see, but it might help me see a little bit better. The spikes are a little bit hard to get around. But I'm going to probably hit those up with a highlight anyway. So they will I'm going to highlight those spikes later anyhow. So I might be trying to just be a little too tedious here with trying to avoid them. All right. And when I take a much closer look, so you can already see it's coming along. I got these shoulder pads. Actually, I need a little bit more of that paint. No, I'm not talking very much. When you're starting to concentrate as much as I am. Now I have to get his bracers here. See, the braces are a little bit tricky. You got to get just the two straps, and then in between that is going to be his skin. And then the other one. The other one you don't have to worry about. He only has the one brace around the one arm, which makes sense. He has a shield in the other. So his skin color is going to go in there, along in this crease over here. And up around. Still just touching up a little bit. Let's see, what else do we need to do? The sword and the metal spikes, I am going to wait for the metal spikes until the base coat right now on the other parts are dry. Let's see. So Naga green and leather brown is for the skin. Oh shoot, I have more of the feet to do. That's the number 0. I still have the legs. Just getting that leg done. Getting underneath for the heel. And now this other one. I'm gonna need some more. Okay. Now I got his legs done, his breastplate, his chainmail, his leather pauldron, his shield. I still have to hit that with the, every spike with the metallic. I want to get this, the chainmail. I think I need a little speck in there. All right. Okay. I'm not exactly sure how to mix the color for his arms. Like I said, I want to wait till this dries up. But as you can see, it's coming along pretty quickly because these parts now I haven't taken a real close look yet. But I can see that I need mixed colors at this point now. So for the skin, the fur, and the fur are the two mixed colors that I need to start putting in there. So I am going to save mixed colors for tomorrow. But anyway, let me switch back and get to a different. So there you have it. I hope you enjoyed this. I'm certainly having a good time doing it, and we'll see. I'll take a real close look with the with either my cell phone or my iPad and see how much I have to tweak this up a little bit. It's kind of hard to see where his skin and the chainmail separate. It's not as straight a line as what I can see here in the image that I can see here, or maybe when I do the skin, I'll be able to make that line a little bit more defined. I think that's what the issue is, and then we'll see how it kind of sticks out, and you'll see the contrast between the two different colors of the skin, and then the fur will lay out, and that will actually help to define the chainmail. And then once I'm done with that, then and then it's just doing the highlight color. So hopefully that comes out fine as well. So thanks for joining. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you, as always, if you have any questions or comments, or if you want to give me some tips for painting, because I am absolutely an amateur. And so if you have any pro tips for me, please feel free to leave those in there. They will be much appreciated. And, as I've said in previous videos, there are so many different ways to engage in this, hobby of tabletop role playing. And, you know, painting is just, another one of them that, I've found that it really is, uh, it really is enjoyable. And, you do not have to be great at it to just pick it up and to just give it a try. And it's not very costly. Like I said, everything, and you could probably get in on it at a lower level than I did. You could probably get away with about a $40 outlay, and you'll have everything that you kind of needed. Although I would highly recommend getting one of these wet pads for doing it. It actually keeps the paint ready to use for days. on end. So I can go back into this tomorrow or the next day, and the paint will still be ready to use. Um, and then I got you know the case came with some extra sheets and stuff like that. So I use a paper that lays down so that the actual sponge pad or the foam pad that holds the moisture doesn't actually get coated with the paints as well. So once again, another good start, as you can see, and I'll be able to show images and everything much closer up with the next video. I'll do a short where you can see just where it stands at this point. So thanks for joining. Hope you like this video. Subscribe if you haven't subscribed. I think it was like one subscription away from 2,600. And, questions and comments always. And, keep on gaming out there. I look forward to seeing you on a gaming screen sometime soon. It's Tuesday night, so I have about 4 hours before my 4 or 5 hours actually before my Advanced Dungeons and Dragons First Edition campaign, and so Tuesday night's always a very busy night for me, and I look forward to seeing you soon. Take care.